Welcome back to The Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. Today, we're kind of stepping outside the usual boxes, flagship, mid-range, budget. We're exploring a device that sort of defines its own category. The action phone.
Ah, yes, the rugged ones.
Well, exactly, but this one's different. Our sources are really focused on the Honor X9d. It's described as a tank, basically. But the fascinating thing, it doesn't look like one. Not at all.
Right, it's actually quite sleek.
Totally. It's thin, looks modern, yet it promises extreme durability and just massive battery life. So our mission here is to figure out the engineering magic. How did they pull this off?
This combination of toughness and, well, slimness.
Exactly. And does the performance, maybe the AI stuff too, does it actually keep up with these big physical claims?
It really is an exercise in contradiction, like you said. When you first pick up the X9T,
Yeah.
you see a modern phone.
Yeah.
Flat frame design.
Yeah.
And that distinct vegan synthetic leather back.
Oh, yeah. The brownish red one looks quite nice in the pictures.
It does look premium. But here's the first puzzle, right? It feels light.
How light?
Comes in at 193 grams. And it's only 7.8 millimeters thick.
Wow, 7.8 millimeter. That's thin even for a regular phone, let alone one built like a tank.
Exactly. It's thinner than plenty of flagships that have like half the battery capacity we're going to talk about. Aesthetically, it's trying to hide its true nature.
And it kind of succeeds. That big screen, 6.78 inches AMOLED.
Yeah, and the bezels.
The bezels are super thin, equal on all sides, gives it that symmetrical, high-end look. It absolutely does not scream, I can survive falling off a cliff.
Right. It whispers premium phone.
Okay, so let's unpack that durability claim. This is where it gets really interesting. They're marketing this phone saying you genuinely don't need a case.
Which is bold.
Very bold. How do you square that sleek 7.8 millimeter design with, well, action-grade protection?
It's basically a combination of layered defense. You've got the obvious layer, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front.
Okay, top-tier glass. That helps with scratches, drops.
Definitely. But the real breakthrough, the secret sauce, is what they put under the glass. It's called nanonewton fluid.
Nanonewton fluid. Okay, that sounds like pure sci-fi. What is that?
It's actually grounded in some pretty advanced material science. Think of that protective stuff in high-end motorcycle jackets, or even some body armor.
The non-Newtonian stuff, that gets hard on impact.
Precisely. This fluid is normally, loose and soft. But the moment it registers a sharp, sudden impact, bang, it instantly solidifies.
So it absorbs the shock by changing its state.
Exactly. It dissipates the energy by rapidly changing its viscosity. It's not just about being rigid. It's about actively managing the impact force.
That is brilliant. So it's not just brute strength, it's smart defense.
You got it.
Yeah.
And the results they're claiming are, well, frankly, shocking. The device is designed to survive drops from 2.5 meters.
2.5 meters. That's like head height or more onto...
Not onto a soft mat in the lab, onto rough surfaces like asphalt or gravel.
Okay, that's serious abuse. And what about pressure? I saw something crazy about that.
Yeah, that pressure test. The device can handle 70 kilograms of static pressure.
70 kilos, just resting on it.
Yep. And one of the source notes almost casually mentioned that having a car drive over it is considered a normal stress test for them.
A car, okay. That level of structural integrity in a 7.8 millimeter phone, just money, it messes with your head.
It really does.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop at just impact. They seriously beefed up the water protection, too.
Right, the IP ratings. It's got IP68, which is standard for flagships now, dust-proof, water submersible.
But it also has IP69. And that's the key difference.
IP69, that's the one for high-pressure, high-temperature water jets, isn't it?
Exactly. Specifically up to 85 degrees Celsius.
So practically speaking, if I spill, like, boiling hot coffee on it or soup.
You don't panic. You just take it to the sink, rinse it off under the tap, maybe even warm water, and you carry on.
That's actually incredibly useful. That IP69 rating isn't just a spec. It's real-world peace of mind that most expensive phones don't offer.
Totally. And sticking with that practical action theme, the display, it's engineered to work even when it's wet.
Oh, that's a big one. So if you're out hiking in the rain or just have wet hands from washing up.
The screen stays fully responsive. No phantom touches, no refusal to register input. It just works. That's a common frustration with standard phones that they seem to have solved.
Okay, so the doability part seems legit, almost unbelievably so.
Right. So the action movie stunt part is covered. Now we move to the marathon runner, the endurance.
Yes, the battery. This is the other huge claim that really sets the Honor X9 apart. The analysis paints this picture of just ridiculous battery life.
Like what?
Okay, get this. A single charge is supposed to deliver 24 hours of straight video viewing.
24 hours, a full day of video.
Or 17 hours of nonstop gaming. Or over 12 hours of continuous video chat.
Those are numbers you usually see on those super chunky, specialized rugged phones that look like bricks.
Exactly. So when the source reveals the actual battery size, it just hammers home the engineering feat here.
Let me guess. 7,000 milliamp.
Bigger? It's a massive 8,300 millimeter raw battery.
Wow, 8,300. That's a huge jump even from their last one, which was already big at 6,600 milliwatt.
It's a 25% increase.
Okay, let's just pause on that number. 8,300 milliwatt. That has to be one of the largest batteries ever put into a mass market, normal-looking smartphone.
Especially one that's still just 7.8 millimeters thick. That's the bit that doesn't compute.
Right. It suggests a serious breakthrough in battery cell density or internal space management. Conventional phone design wisdom says, you want that kind of capacity. Okay, but you have to accept a phone that's 10 millimeters thick, maybe more.
And this phone just seems to defy that entirely.
It really challenges the design compromises the rest of the industry seems to have just accepted. If they've figured out how to do this thinness to capacity ratio scalably, well, that changes things.
And for the user, the practical outcome is?
The claim is 3 full days of use on a single charge with light usage.
3 days without charger anxiety.
3 days apiece, yeah. And they actually leaned into that huge capacity for utility, too. The phone can act as a power bank.
Oh, reverse charging.
Yeah, it can output 7.5 watts via its USB-C port. So you can charge your headphones, maybe top up a friend's phone in a pinch.
That makes sense. If you've got 8,300 millipom, might as well share the wealth.
Exactly. It adds to that whole prepared-for-anything action vibe.
Okay, that utility's neat. But wait a second. That huge battery, 8,300 milliamp. We haven't talked charging speeds.
Good point.
Does having that massive capacity mean you're stuck charging it for, 5 hours? Is that the trade-off?
That's a very fair question, and it's a detail the sources were surprisingly light on, actually.
Really? They didn't mention the wattage.
Not explicitly highlighted. Given the mid-range price point we'll get to, it's probably safe to assume they haven't prioritized, flagship level 100-watt or 120-watt super fast charging.
So likely a compromise there.
It seems like a reasonable trade-off they might have made.
Mm.
You get absolutely unparalleled endurance, potentially industry-leading, but maybe at the cost of a slower refueling time compared to some others.
Okay, that's important context for potential buyers. Endurance king, but maybe not a speed demon at the plug. Right, let's shift gears now. Durability, check. Battery, mega check. What about the engine running this thing?
Yeah, because a huge battery doesn't mean much if the processor guzzles power or feels sluggish.
Exactly. So performance-wise, it's not a flagship chip, obviously.
No, it's the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1.
Built on the 4-nanometer process, though, which is good for efficiency.
Right, and it's paired with a healthy 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage.
So the user experience, what did the analysis say?
Described as consistently smooth, it handles demanding daily tasks, multitasking, even gaming pretty well without those noticeable slowdowns or stutters you sometimes associate with the mid-range label.
Okay, so perfectly capable for most people. And software.
It runs on Magic OS 7, which is built on top of Android 15, so fairly up to date there.
Good. Now, where the X9d doesn't seem to compromise, surprisingly, is the display quality itself.
No, definitely not. We mentioned the size and the AMOLED panel. It's also got a 120 Hz refresh rate.
Smooth scrolling, nice.
And it supports 1 billion colors. But crucially, they also highlight a high PWM rate.
PWM, pulse width modulation. That's the anti-flicker thing, right?
Exactly. For people sensitive to screen flickers, especially at lower brightness levels, a high PWM dimming rate makes the screen much more comfortable to look at for long periods.
Which makes sense for a phone designed to be used for potentially days on end between charges.
Precisely. And the brightness. This figure is kind of wild.
How bright?
Up to 6,000 nits peak brightness when you're viewing HDR content.
6,000 nits. That's brighter than many high-end TVs.
It's an astonishingly high number. It means, basically, you could be sitting outside on the absolute sunniest day, direct sunlight, and that screen should still be perfectly visible. No contest.
That's genuinely a flagship tier spec on a phone that's clearly not priced like one.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they paired that great visual experience with stereo speakers too, so it's good for watching videos or gaming.
Okay, let's bring it all together then. We've got extreme durability, potentially 3-day battery life, smooth enough performance, and a frankly top-tier screen. So what's the damage? What does this actually cost?
The price point mentioned is $12.99 AED,
Which translates to
roughly $350.
350 bucks for all of that.
Yeah. At that price, the overall value proposition looks, well, undeniably excellent.
But there have to be compromises somewhere, right? $350 doesn't buy you everything.
Precisely. That price tag means they definitely had to make cuts. And those compromises, they become most evident when you look at the camera system.
Ah, okay. So what are we looking at camera-wise?
You get a solid main camera. It's a 108 megapixel sensor, and importantly, it has OIS, optical image stabilization.
OIS is good. That physically steadies the lens, helps with low light, makes video smoother.
Exactly. And that high megapixel count also means the 3x digital zoom or cropping you can do in the app is actually decent quality. It sort of makes up for not having a dedicated telephoto lens.
Okay, so the main shooter sounds strong, largely thanks to that OIS. But where does the budget bite?
It's really the supporting cast, the ultra-wide camera. It's only 5 megapixels.
Oof. 5 megapixels is not a lot for an ultra-wide these days.
No. And the analysis was pretty clear. Those ultra-wide shots tend to suffer from noise, lack sharpness, especially if the lighting isn't perfect.
And the selfie camera.
It's a 16 megapixel sensor, decent dynamic range, apparently good for group shots because it's quite wide, but it lacks 4K video recording.
No 4K on the front.
Nope. And the electronic stabilization on the selfie video is described as pretty weak. So you're definitely paying for the battery and the toughness here, not a world-beating versatile camera array.
That seems like a very clear assessment of the trade-off. Durability and battery first, camera second. Makes sense for the price. Okay, let's pivot one last time to the AI features, because this is where that newer Snapdragon chipset seems to inject some flagship flavor back into this mid-ranger.
Yeah, the integrated AI capabilities are actually surprisingly advanced for this price point.
Like what?
We'll take AI vision. It doesn't just recognize basic objects like dog or cat. It can identify things like sky or flower in your photo.
Scene recognition.
Right, but then it dynamically tunes the color and saturation automatically to enhance that specific part of the shot instantly.
Okay, that's pretty smart. What about editing?
The AI eraser tool is interesting. Object removal is pretty standard now, right? Magic eraser and all that.
Yeah, taking people or things out of photos.
But the Honor X9d version specifically lets you select and remove the shadows that were cast by the object you just removed.
Oh, that's clever.
Okay.
Because often the leftover shadow is the dead giveaway that something was edited out.
Exactly. That attention to detail is key for making those generative edits look seamless and believable.
Nice touch. What else?
They've included something called Magic Portal. It sounds like a productivity booster.
How does it work?
You can apparently drag and drop text or even images from anywhere on your screen. Could be from a website, an app, even a screenshot into this little floating space.
Okay.
And from there, you can instantly search the web for that text or image, share it directly to another app like your notes or messages, or just paste it somewhere. It's designed to streamline those little copy-paste, search-share workflows.
That actually sounds incredibly useful. Cuts down on steps.
Right.
And circle to search, the Google feature.
Yep, that's baked in too. Standard feature now on newer Android builds.
Good. But I saw mention of one AI feature that seemed, well, frankly, shocking for a phone in this price bracket. Generative fill?
Yeah, they call it AI outpainting. This is the kind of feature usually reserved for high-end phones like the Pixels or Galaxies, or desktop software like Photoshop.
Outpainting. So expanding the photo beyond its original borders.
Exactly. It solves that problem where maybe you framed your subject a bit too tightly, cut off part of the scene. With this, you can literally expand the canvas, drag the borders of your photo outwards.
And the AI fills in the blank space.
And not just with a blur or a simple pattern. The AI logically invents a background that makes sense contextually, filling in that empty canvas based on what's already in the photo.
Whoa. Did the sources give an example?
Yeah, there was a really impressive one. They had a close-up shot of a toy car. They expanded the frame significantly. And the AI didn't just, add more blurry background. It generated more of the scene, including things like Lego-style tree and other little toy elements, perfectly matching the style and context.
Okay, that requires some serious computational inference. To generate contextually relevant new elements like that, that suggests Honor has invested pretty heavily in their AI platform, even for mid-range.
It certainly seems that way. So if we kind of tie this all back together, what is the Honor X9d, really? I think it's a successful proof of concept. It shows you can create a highly durable device that doesn't look like a brick, using advanced materials like that nanonewton fluid.
Shedding the bulky, rugged aesthetic.
Right. And what's genuinely fascinating, maybe the biggest takeaway for me, is how they squeezed that massive 8,300 milliraw battery in while keeping it just 7.8 millimeters thick. That hints at a significant, maybe even proprietary engineering advance in battery tech or internal design. It really challenges the assumptions other manufacturers are working under.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you, the listener? We're looking at a device that can apparently survive being run over by a car.
Maybe. Don't test that one yourself.
Right, disclaimer. But it can survive serious drops in pressure. It can power through potentially 3 days of use. And it has AI smart sophisticated enough to invent background scenery for your photos. And it does all this for around $350 USD.
Which is remarkable value considering those specific strengths.
It really is. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative question to mull over, doesn't it? If this level of extreme durability and genuine multi-day battery life is achievable now at this affordable price point, why are flagship phones, the ones costing 3 or 4 times as much, still actively choosing to compromise so heavily on these core practical features?
Why are we still getting $1,200 phones that barely last a day and shatter if you look at them wrong?
Exactly. And looking forward, what other action-grade elements might start trickling into everyday, non-rugged devices next? Could we see things like extreme thermal regulation for sustained gaming? Or maybe integrated satellite communication becoming standard, now that the engineering barriers around thickness and weight seem less rigid than we thought?
Interesting possibilities. The X9d definitely pushes the boundaries of what we expect from a mid-range phone.
Something for you to think about. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.